Meanwhile, President-elect Donald Trump sounded off on Joe Biden's federal death row commute, saying he can't believe Biden would do such a thing. Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, "When you hear the acts of each, you won't believe that he did this. Makes no sense. So soon as I am inaugurated, I will direct the Justice Department to vigorously pursue the death penalty to protect American families and children from violent rapists, murderers, and monsters. We will be a nation of law and order again." Let's discuss this with Republican strategist Bobby Eberle. Bobby is the host of the 13-minute News Hour. Welcome, Bobby. Bobby, Trump has always supported the death penalty, saying many times during his campaign in 2024. Give us your reaction after hearing this, because not only has he, these people, there are families sitting at home with raped, dead, dismembered loved ones who were on death row, who now don't have the justice they were promised by the country that they are a citizen of. This is so disturbing, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be shocked anymore on what the Biden administration does.
It is.
But even so, when these came down, you were wondering, who's he going to commute? What crony, what corrupt official, like we saw in his first batch of, or large batch of pardons. But this one really hits home. This one is the shocking one. And it slaps in the face these victims, these survivors, the family members that have to go on, knowing that their loved ones aren't there, thinking, as you said, that justice was done, at least at the human level and the government level. And no, it's not. And what's, I think, been missed in the media is Biden's statement where he said, I'm not going to commit or commute those of terrorists or people that did hate-filled acts. Well, all of these are hate-filled. I mean, if you rape young kids and kill them, that is hate. If you go into a bank and you just randomly shoot people and kill them, that is hate. And even at the very end, Biden is trying to make this some kind of racial issue that if you kill one group, it's worse than killing another group. And that has gone kind of unsaid right there, but that is the theme. And it also makes you think that maybe some others, these far leftists, are running the show in the final days.
Bobby, I'd like to turn your attention to that building right there behind you, specifically Speaker Mike Johnson's credibility with Republicans. Some House GOP lawmakers want the president-elect to dump Johnson after the speaker pushed through that last continuing resolution. The measure, of course, wasn't what President Trump wanted, rather the one the Democrats were jockeying for. So, soon-to-be 47 has repeatedly said that Johnson, excuse me, will easily remain speaker if he acts decisively and tough and eliminates all of the traps that are being set by Democrats. So the question to you here is, will Johnson actually keep the gavel when the new Congress takes over in January, or is he going to be one of those leaders who is simply on a short leash?
Well, the thing is, going into this, the trap that it was set was not necessarily by the Democrats, but by the establishment in general. Shortly after the election, he won unanimous approval from the caucus to continue on as speaker. And so you think he could just ride out just, a month and a half or so and do a good job, represent those on the winning side. This was a MAGA, America First victory, top to bottom, mandate, electoral college, popular vote. And then what do we get? That 1,500-page, hey, here's a little bit for everybody, the deep state, the establishment, and the shock from the grassroots. It wasn't just Elon Musk speaking out. He gets a lot of credit for his influence, but it was the rise of the grassroots, the people that will not be canceled anymore, the people that are not going to be pushed aside, that their voices are now being heard. They spoke out. And I really don't know if he survives this, because this, again, was a final test. It should have been an easy test. Let's just fund the government a couple more months. I mean, most conservatives are against even that. Let's pass real budgets. But Trump's coming in, so let's just let him get in. And they tried to put this massive pork spending, and it flies in the face of everything we represent. And I'm glad those 30+ voted against it. I would have voted against it as well. And so he deserves the scrutiny that he's getting right now. Let's say that.
Hey, Bobby, let me ask you about President-elect Trump and immigration, because he obviously wants mass deportations. But California Governor Gavin Newsom, I mean, you can imagine, he wants to basically skirt all of this, or basically get rid of it. He wants to dodge all of Trump's plans for this. Newsom's internal team is mulling this memo circulating around their circle, calling for this immigrant support network, which would basically help illegals facing deportations to various providers. There are no details of the plan, but this is spending, clearly. It's spending costs passed on to the taxpayers, Bobby. We got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think this is really going to come back to hurt him, because you see other blue cities such as New York coming on board. You see Chicago, where Brandon Johnson isn't on board, but the constituents, longtime Democrats, are fighting back. And so Californians are not going to react well to this, especially since they passed this new shoplifting law where they're actually cracking down. I think people will like a little law and order, a little public safety, and that will bleed over into this issue as well. This is not good for Newsom at all.
Bobby Eberle, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Bobby.
Happy New Year.
All right, friends, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button above. Once you do, tell your friends, share it, spread the word about the 13-minute news hour so we can keep growing. And for more great content, check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.